Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney, and I wanted to make a video for people who are feeling really confused in today's climate, where there's a lot of like up is down and all around and upside down, right? There's just a lot of confusion and a lot of people feeling lost and a lot of heartbreak out there, and a lot of concerns that people are experiencing. And I wanted this video to be like a kind of a quick compass recalibration based off of these spiritual elements that have been around for years and years and years. We have lots of ancient texts that kind of hint at these two opposing forces that are at work, what they look like. Maybe this will help someone out there get a little bit of clarity and be able to just jump in there to make the decisions that they need to for their specific purposes. But it's just kind of a side by side of these two opposing energies. A lot of us might be introduced to these energies from like the Bible, the forces of good and evil, right? Or kind of God versus devil energy. There are a lot of different terminologies that you could use for these two energies, and if you're not a spiritual or religious person, or maybe this is the first time you're even hearing about any of these things, this might just be something to generate some thoughts within yourself and see if it's something that is useful to you. If not, just discard it. If it's actively causing you harm to hear this, please just click away. You have your autonomy. You can make decisions that you feel like what's good for you, what's bad for you. I'm not trying to take that away for you. I'm just trying to throw something out there to chew on, and maybe be helpful for somebody. Okay, so again, those clarity seekers, or if you're feeling tangled up or you need direction, this might be a place to start, and it might not be. So I'm going to let that be up to you. So let's talk about these two opposing forces. So I'm just going to refer to it, I think I'll refer to it as the forces of good and the forces of evil, because it's kind of a mainstream idea. We see it in a lot of plots, a lot of movies, a lot of video games. You know, there's villains, there's heroes. It's kind of more embedded in our culture, I think, in a lot of different cultures. And I think it's more easy to translate into whatever scenario you're thinking of this. But I want to do kind of a side by side of these. So the forces of evil are going to be confusing, right? They're going to create chaos. They're going to bind you. They're going to restrict you. They're going to have a lot of illusions. They're going to be tied to fear. And then it's going to leave a person's vessel worse than it was found. So we're talking mind, body, and spirit is going to be negatively impacted when being in this force of evil. And then it also leaves people disempowered, right? So you're getting smaller. You're not growing. You're getting less confident. You're not getting more confident. You're feeling more pain. You're not getting... Well, pain is a little bit different. So we'll talk about that too, because we live in a really tricky world. Not all that's painful is bad for us, right? And that's where those illusions kind of step in. Like, let's think about exercise. Exercise can be really painful for a lot of people. Does it leave you better? Does it leave you worse after? I think most people would generally agree that it leaves you better afterwards. Your mind, your body, you feel refreshed, but it's painful. So that's an example. Now let's talk about the forces of good. So the forces of good encourage growth. So it also liberates. It's also truthful and honest. You experience joy versus fear. Your vessel becomes better than it was before. So mind, body, spirit, it gets better than when you found it. You feel empowered. The forces of good care about you and you becoming your best self and you becoming abundant. It's not limited. So again, you're going to be liberated in this energy. It's also very orderly and peaceful. So there's peace here. So if we think about that in terms of just like our day-to-day life or even relationships, right? So we can I'm just kind of reading over my notes. While I was reading, I was just kind of thinking about Mother Gothel. I don't know if any of you are Tangled fans, but she's a really good example, I think, of the forces of evil, right? So not all is what it seems. And on the surface, she seems like a really devoted mother, right? She's getting Rapunzel the things that she needs from the market. She's telling her, like, don't go outside, it's dangerous out there. We want to protect you, right? And her intentions are she's trying to keep Rapunzel small. She's trying to keep her contained. She's trying to exploit Rapunzel for her gift, right? She's trying to harvest that for herself. So this is a really good example of these darker energies where on the surface it might look like, okay, she's doing something good for her daughter, but she's not allowing her daughter to grow, right? So she's instilling fear in her. She's trying to control her by means of shame and illusions. And yeah, so you can see where maybe something that appears good might actually be in that darker energy. Not to put like religions on blast, but I know a lot of people have had bad experiences with some religions because, again, they tried to keep that person small. There was a lot of shame-based teachings, things like that. It was kind of, maybe the substance of it was good, but it was being presented in a way that was in these negative force. It wasn't leaving that person liberated, empowered. It wasn't having them fully embody their growth, things like that. And so sometimes there's like gems of good, but the presentation is not great. Or, vice versa. There's things that feel really good, like in the short term. We see this in the addiction communities, right? This is great. I don't have to feel all of the feelings. I'm having fun with my friends. We're being free. We're being alive. But if you look at it, like, are you really free? Because now you're kind of tied to this biological substance reaction. Every time you try and escape it, it's keeping your mindset at kind of this same spot. You are actually hindering like this growth cycle, and you're trying, and it's getting in the way there. And so you see how on the surface, maybe it appears to be a really good thing, but maybe it's in that darker energy, right? So that's what I mean by not everything is what it seems. And this is true for relationships too. And this is something to think about for your own personal accountability. And this is something that I think about too, is am I, and I'll just say it from my perspective, am I planting seeds of fear in other people? Am I trying to keep other people small? Am I trying to stop their growth? Am I trying to limit them? Am I trying to control them, right? Am I trying to bind, restrict, handicap, any of that? Because, and that could be from really subtle, small things to bigger things too. And that's something we want to look at, because we want to plant seeds of abundance in our partners, in our friendships. We want them to grow, right? We want them to become their biggest self, and we want the space to be able to do that as well. And we can do that by not playing into some of the illusions that happen out there. So let me think of an example, like a subtle example. Might be easier to understand of what an illusion might look like. Enabling is a good example. So on the one hand, we might be giving someone what they want, but it might be hindering their growth, right? Maybe we're enabling an addiction. Maybe it's smaller than that. Maybe it's like with your children, right? Maybe they just want to eat ice cream, and we're like, here, have all the ice cream you want, knowing that that's going to leave their physical vessel and their minds worse, probably, like what we know the effects of sugar, than doing the thing that might be a little bit more uncomfortable in the moment, but lead to better results. Okay, so our quick check-in to see, like, if our compass is aligned, we're looking at, is this encouraging growth? Is this encouraging and empowering myself? Is this empowering others? Is this liberating people? Is this liberating myself? Is this rooted in truth? Is this rooted in more of a truth that I wish was true but isn't really, more of an illusion? Does it bring joy and peace to my life? Am I better with whatever this is or whatever I'm doing than I was before? Is this leaving my vessel better, my mind better, my spirit better? And those are just some questions, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Everyone's saying this is what you need, this is what you don't need. No one's going to know exactly what's right for you, not even me. But hopefully this can kind of help you figure out, like, am I stepping in the way of growth? Am I trying to keep things from changing? What does that look like, right? And see if you're on the right track. Maybe this will help you realign. or if you're going the opposite direction where you're hoping to go. And then if this is helpful, let me know. If it just added to the confusion, then maybe I can do a follow-up with some better examples. Or if you have any questions, maybe there's more to this that I'm not realizing in this space and time at this moment. And I hope you all have a best day. Bye.